slowly wrapping around. It seems like now it's all the more dependent for Homeboys to fight better because you laid down like a team fighting condition. Seems like that is going to be the main case.
The team fighting condition is stun someone, make sure that person goes down before they can run away.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah, easier said than done. It's game number 2, ONIC versus Homeboys, and just at the beginning, the aggression of the Kalea and the Kimi together will be able to bring Izanami down low, but not able to take him out.
Yeah, look very closely at what Sans is doing. That's the whole game. He's gonna be doing that the whole game. And look at this. Just look at this, man. There's just no way they can fight back. Even with the Leo board there, good damage. Again, damage was a little bit improved on the Leo board. Yeah, you're gonna have to chase Sans non-stop. You're gonna chase a flying Kimi all across the map, and you're gonna have to go through a Kalea. You're gonna have to go through a Cho all game long.
Very difficult. Here comes an entry by Kiboy. Knock up, damage, continuous. Daniel almost brought down. Can he be finished off by ONIC? And the answer is yes. Kiboy and Sans still going after Izanami, but Kiboy has to back off, taking a lot of damage from the turn, but the flicker!
Sheesh.
The entry! Gila Sans finishing it off, but Amal gets the clap back against Kiboy.
Very crazy non-stop action. I love what I'm seeing. Kyrie as well on the top side. Mel Cutie is gonna get taken out. What the heck is happening, man? They're falling apart.
Yeah, outplayed, overheated, and this is not the early game that Homeboys wants. Yes, you want them to be aggressive and try to find kills, but not like this. They've only gotten one and they're trying to find another. But Lutfi will be able to survive. First turtle, it's gonna be up. Homeboys starting it out, and this might be the silver lining. ONIC decides to focus on the tower in mid. Homeboys will get this turtle.
Yes, you're right. Because this is where the Homeboys lineup is good, Renmar. When you are around an objective and you're all tightly grouped up together, it's hard for ONIC to actually go near it. Right? Because they need to keep their distance. The Kimi needs to keep distance. The YSS needs to keep the distance. And look at that. If they engage, it's going to be so hard if you don't have a flicker, if you don't have a Shinpo.
Exactly as you mentioned, when they're all together, they just look so strong. They decide to find 2 kills, and they actually get it. Melcuti barely able to escape, but will escape with his life. There's Homeboys with the clapback. So that's the condition that you exactly were looking for, Rockhart. Group up together, find kills. This is how you're going to stop the bleeding that ONIC could potentially deliver.
Yeah, they're going to have to go choo-choo train and steamroll as a literal death ball, right? That's just become a literal death ball, and you're gonna be fine. That's Homeboys' lineup, and just make sure you don't die and you don't get kited in the process.
ONIC, though, if ever it gets to the point where the score is relatively close or the gold is relatively close, the death ball might not be as easy to pull off in the latter stages of the game because, again, the problem that you pose for Homeboys is still going to be there. The problem of the Yi Sun-shin and the Kimi, and the question of whether or not you can actually reach them. But then the biggest thing that they have to watch out for is actually that Alice, that come the later stages is going to be difficult to take down, and the damage profile for Homeboys isn't really cut out for a mid to late game Alice. They're going to be relying on just surviving the fight way longer than ONIC, which, again, it's an Alice. That's what she does. She thrives in the long team fight.
That's right. I'm actually just waiting for Lutfi to farm up a little bit, and I'm pretty sure later on, he's going to be happy to dive in with the Throne of Ruin anytime, especially after you lock in the, what do you call that? The red carpet. Yeah. I haven't used High Loss in a while. I forgot the name.
The Glorious
Pathway.
The
There
Glorious
you go.
Pathway, yes.
Once you see the Glorious Pathway, I think Lutfi will be going straight for the back line. Either the Freya or the Leomord.
Yeah, exactly. Lutfi right now, you see him. He's the one zoning on. Here comes Kiboy. Entry with the slam. He gets the pick off. Amal falls. Daniel as well. ONIC have broken the formation of Homeboys, but Homeboys still fighting back. Look at Mel QT, but this is going to be a massive trade. Kyrie survives. Kyrie did not fall with just a sliver of health. The killing spree keeps him alive. Izanami gets to take down Skylar, but Izanami eventually falls. ONIC with a massive win.
Kyrie mechanics, man. I really thought he was gonna go down. He fought under the turret. He had so much experience that he knew he was gonna win, even though his HP was literally like 1%, 2%. Bro, this is just very good team fighting coming in from ONIC, despite, again, Homeboys technically having the beefier lineup.
And it all goes back to one of their biggest gripes with the draft here for Homeboys, the lack of range. Team fights for them are way too all in. Yes, they can deal damage, but finishing it off is a different story. Now, 5 minutes into the game, they have not yet crossed the 15,000 gold threshold. ONIC is getting closer to 20,000. It's an early 3K gold lead. And this is one big team fight loss away from ONIC completely taking control of the game. There's still one more big window Homeboys can find here in terms of a big team fight, but they have to set it up with a pickoff first.
Yeah, they might actually start losing out on ground the moment that ONIC gets richer, you know, the moment they get an item advantage.
Yeah.
So the window is closing fast, Renmar.
Sky Piercer already built up for Sans, who has 4 kills. No stacks on it just yet. Here comes the glorious pathway. Daniel might be a little bit too greedy, but because the tower fall down, they decided to go for it. Sans takes so much damage. Here comes the clapback of Homeboys. They are working together as a hit squad. Sans is still the only one falling. Look at Lutby, hold on, Boy, trying to keep him alive, but the Alice will eventually fall. That is the condition of Homeboys, yet ticked again, and they have found their window. They've closed it. ONIC still has a little bit of a lead, but Homeboys are fighting back.
Yeah, they're definitely fighting back. The small consolation prize is Kyrie did get a lot of gold farming solo while all of that was happening, while Lutpi was buying a lot of time. So very good advantage for Homeboys, but look at that.
Okay, Boy goes in right away with the pick off. mlbb able to flicker on out of there. Homeboys needs to back off. They don't have their Freya anymore. ONIC dealing the damage. Daniel almost brought down low. Reza with the raging slashes. Not going to be able to deal enough. And ONIC, hold on. Reza is going to go down. And Homeboys get spotted out.
Yeah, again, you think you have an advantage in the ONIC, then they kind of just remind you why they are one of the strongest teams in the world. They find an opening right after, right after licking their wounds, which is very impressive. And again, because they are a world championship caliber team.
7.5 minutes Malefic Roar for Kyrie. He's level 12. That is an item rush, but he has a 3-level lead over his jungling counterpart now. And all our fears for the Homeboys lineup have come true. All of the issues that we had with it, ONIC are just making the most of the cards that they were dealt. And this is the expected result that we're seeing.
100%. That's why I said the consolation prize for ONIC earlier was super good, because as you mentioned, it's a level lead. It's a huge level lead if you give Kyrie so much more free farm time. And we're seeing that right now. We saw that earlier. And I think later on, we will also see it on the retry battle. Level 13, level 14 versus level 10.
The comeback has to be glorious here, but here comes the glorious pathway from Daniel. The Throne of Ruin already committed. They get to avoid it. Lutby will be able to get on out of there with a gleam. ONIC, though, fighting back little by little, slowly. The turnaround. Kiboy with an entry. Massive crowd control, massive damage. ONIC are taking control. Scholar will be coming in from the back, Rockhart.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. ONIC just know how to dismantle this, especially with Skylar just making the perfectly timed entry from the back. And Izanami all alone? You're not a mage. You can't clear these minion waves. And I think that's ONIC going straight for the jugular. And they will take him down. Izanami quite easily getting disposed of here. mlbb doing his best to clear these waves.
ONIC still has minion waves to work with if they want to push the issue. 23,000, the gold of Homeboys. ONIC with an almost 10,000 gold lead for that. They tried to make a play. Commendable, but ONIC just had too big a lead in the lineup, and the damage profile just works way too heavily towards their favor. Skylar split off from the rest of the group to get vision. He's going to be spotting out that Angela, trying to apply pressure. Skylar sees the Angela. Izanami in trouble. He gets kicked. Izanami brought down to 10%, and it looks like he's going to get taken out. Soloed by Skylar. And now it's a 5v4 across the map. ONIC, here comes Kyrie through the mid, but Ludwig with a throne of ruin, stopping the exit of Amal and Malcuti. But they'll be able to get away, not be able to get stunned by Skylar. But they get Daniel along the way. Only 3 members remain for Homeboys. An absolute massacre for ONIC.
Yep, they got separated, and now you see the weakness of the Homeboys lineup. We talked about this over and over. Yes, you are super strong as a 5-man death ball, but in separate components, it's quite easy to take you out. It's like taking apart sushi, bro. It's just not the same.
Yeah, I mean, call it an experience all you want, an experimental fusion or attempt to change sushi. Sushi is sushi for a reason. You don't need to change it. And ONIC understood that. They looked at their lineup. They looked at what Homeboys brought and said, okay, we will pick you apart, even though you don't want to. The Cho pick there near the end, the Alice as well in the last 2. ONIC, it looks like they're just going to be on their way to finishing it here with this push.
Yeah, and they're rushing this. By the way, we are at 11 minutes. We got Big Lord walking on the bottom side of the map, and I don't see Homeboys walking out here anytime soon. Look at Lutfi, he's just in front. He's showing it off with the recall, and they're just waiting for that Lord to arrive. Here comes that possible last clash.
ONIC, I set, ending it here with a quick sweep to start off their campaign in Games of the Future. Homeboys doing their absolute damnedest to hold on. Reza, look at him trying to hold that Alice at bay. But the Alice we talked about earlier is one of the biggest problems. They don't have the damage, and it still rings true. Hard guard coming in for the Leomore. Can they actually find a turnaround here? Here comes Melqt, but he just gets blasted down. Throne of Ruin. Homeboys stuck together, and they fall together. 4 down. Reza, last one holding. It's a maniac for Gila Sands, and a sweep victory for ONIC.
Just like we